All right. Ladies and gentlemen, guten Abend. I believe that all of you are doing okay, even as we set to start. Right. Let me just do a quick mic check. 1 2, mic check 1 2. This is to ensure that everybody is in a position to hear me as we get to begin on today's live. Now, first of all, for those who don't know me, just call me Lehrer Fred. And in today's class, I would like us to emphasize some two words, right? Now, before we get to start, I would like to say welcome to each one of us. And as I mentioned earlier, this is Teacher Fred speaking to us. And in today's class, oh, I don't know why every time one wants to go online, it's like when you're doing Hören, right? You realize every time you want to do Hören, there tends to be some sort of distractions, right? But anyways, today I want us to see the difference that lies between Sprachen and Sprechen. These are very two identical words that most learners tend to confuse. So let's now see what are the difference and what does each one of them mean. All right. So just get somewhere to write so that we now go ahead and break this one down. Now I would begin with the first one. Let's begin with this one here. Sprachen. Now, for this first one, as you can see indicated, it is a noun. It is therefore always written beginning with a capital S because it's a noun, right? Remember the rule that tells you that in German, all nouns should always begin with a capital letter. So this Sprache, this one here, this is a noun and so should always begin with a capital S. So if it is one, it is Sprache, this is singular. But in plural, you will proceed to add an N to it. All right, so remember Sprache, if it's one, Sprache. But plural, you will now proceed to add an N to it. Now this Sprache simply means language. Sprache, this one here means language, all right? And then, of course, in plural, the N is the S equivalent in English. So remember the emphasis that Sprache, this is a noun, language, right? If you add an N to it, it would now become plural, now meaning languages. All right. Now, they sometimes use this Sprache as an extension by joining it to other nouns. An example, I could have an extension of it. Maybe I want to say mother tongue. Do note that this one is normally feminine article D. All right. Die Sprache. All right. Die Sprache. So singular, Sprache, plural. Now add an N to it. Say Sprachen, languages. All right. Now you can proceed to form other nouns using the same Sprache. Sometimes they combine the word Mutter, right? And then you have the Sprache, the mother, and tongue. So mother tongue, you would now say Mutter Sprache. Mutter Sprache. Look at that. So there's Mutter, that is mother, and then there's Sprache. Now, when we join them, now, of course, the S now becomes small. You now say Mutter Sprache. Look at that. Mutter Sprache, mother tongue. All right. Now, the same Sprache, sometimes I can join it. You want to say foreign language. Now, foreign is normally fremd. Fremd means foreign, right? And then you proceed to join it with the Sprache. Remember, fremd is foreign. So if you want to say a foreign language, now you would say fremd Sprache. Look at that. Fremd Sprache. Do you see that? Fremd, this means foreign. Then the Sprache, so it becomes fremd Sprache, foreign language. Okay. Now the same one, you could proceed to join it with, you want to say second language. Second language. Now second is normally zweit. Second. Zweit. Remember we have zwei. No, zwei alone is two. But zweit, from the word zweit, second. And then you also join it with the Sprache. Now it would become Zweitsprache. Zweitsprache. Look at that. Second language. All right. Zweitsprache. One word. Zweitsprache. That now means second language. Now also note that all of them, they will have the article D. D. Normally in German, when you join 2, 3, 4, 5 nouns together, the article of the last noun becomes the article of the entire word, right? So Zweitsprache, meaning second language. Now, how about you want to call a native speaker? So how do you call a native speaker? You would now use the word Mutter. Okay, there's the word Mutter. Then you would join it with Sprachler. Mutter, Sprachler. Look at this. So this is a native speaker. Mutter, Sprachler. Look at the difference is this is Sprache, language, right? But this one is Sprachler. So a native speaker, how do we call the person? You would now call the person as Mutter. Then you join Sprachler. Mutter, Sprachler. If it's a female, now I would add an IN to it. Look at that. So Muttersprachler. Muttersprachler. So female, now say Muttersprachlerin. That is now a native speaker. Okay. All right then. Now, how about we see, now the same Sprachen, we sometimes use it to form adjectives, right? That root word Sprach. Maybe we want to say speechless. Speechless. Now, speechless would now become, now this is an adjective, small s. Now you would become sprachlos. Look at this. Now this is a small s. Sprachlos. This means speechless. Sprachlos. Note that now this is a small s. This now means speechless. Okay. Okay, let's get 2 more words you can form from Sprechen. Now you want to say language knowledge. Now this one, they would join the word Sprach. All right. Sprach. And the knowledge, which is Kenntnisse. Sprachkenntnisse. Sprachkenntnisse. This now means language knowledge. Sprachkenntnisse. Language knowledge. All right. Now let's get the last vocabulary. That is the Sprachfähigkeit. Sprachfähigkeit. Look at that. So there's the Sprachkenntnisse, that is the language knowledge, and the Sprachfähigkeit. This is now the linguistic capability. All right. But I believe you've now seen the difference, right? Remember, this is a noun. So therefore, it would always begin with the capital letter. Okay. All right, then. Let's now proceed and see the second one. How about Sprechen? What is this Sprechen and how do we conjugate it? Now, remember, this one is normally small s. It is normally going to begin with a small s unless, of course, it begins a sentence. All right. So, Sprechen, the meaning, what is Sprechen? Now, Sprechen is the verb. This one is now a verb, which simply means to speak. Sprechen. This is a verb, and it means to speak. Okay? So, how do you conjugate it? Normally, it's among the irregular verbs, right? Sprechen is normally an irregular verb. So, you will proceed to conjugate it as follows. So under ich, I would say spreche, right? Ich spreche, I speak, okay? But in du, now it changes the vowel in it. Now you say du sprichst. Look at that. So ich spreche, I speak, but du sprichst. Now you can see there's a change. Now the vowel is I. How about under er, sie, es? Now in er, sie, es, you would now say spreche. spricht. Look at this. Er, sie, es spricht. Do you see the complete change? Ich spreche, du sprichst. But er, sie, es spricht. He, she, it is speaking, right? Then you have the capital S. Sie sprechen. All right? Sie sprechen. Now, in the plural side, you now have wir sprechen. All right? Wir sprechen. And then the plural of du now becomes er spricht. Er spricht. And then there's the sie sprechen. All right? And then lastly, sie sprechen. So this is how you're going to proceed to conjugate the verb sprechen. Yeah? Ich spreche, du sprichst, er, sie, es spricht, sie sprechen, wir sprechen, ihr sprecht, and then sie sprechen, all right? Now, how about in the past? How does sprechen become in the past? Remember we began by saying that it's among the irregular verbs, right? So in the past, it will change from sprechen and now becomes sprachen. This now means spoke. All right, look at that. Sprachen, spoke. All right, so I spoke. You would now say ich sprach. All right, ich sprach. I spoke. Do you see the difference? Now in present is sprechen, to speak. Ich spreche, du sprichst, right? It is, this is present. But in the past tense now becomes sprachen, spoke. Ich sprach, I spoke French. Ich sprach Französisch, right? Ich sprach. Now in the do, now it will become du sprachst. Look at that. Du sprachst. You spoke. All right? And then normally in the past, you will realize that ich and er, sie, es normally are the same. So that in er, sie, es, I would also say sprach. That is in the past. Look at the endings. Ich sprach, I spoke. Er, sie, es also sprach. He, she, it spoke. All right? And then under sie, now you would say sie sprachen. You spoke. You spoke German. Sie sprachen Deutsch. Kindly don't confuse the two, right? And then under wir, you would now say wir sprachen. Wir sprachen. And then I have er spracht, right? And then sie sprachen. Lastly, sie sprachen. Now, this is how I would conjugate it in the past. Okay. Remember, we began by saying it's an irregular verb, so it tends to take different vowels depending if it's present or past. Okay. Now, this is the past tense. Now, how about in the perfect? How would it become in the perfect? So in the perfect tense, you would now use haben, and then at the end you would have gesprochen. Haben, gesprochen. Look at that. Haben, gesprochen. Now this means have or even has spoken. Have or has spoken. Look at that. Now I would use haben at the end, gesprochen, which is have spoken or has spoken. So now I want to say I have spoken, right? I have spoken. Now you would say ich habe gesprochen, right? I have spoken. Ich habe gesprochen. I have spoken. So, I have spoken with Peter. Ich habe mit Peter gesprochen. All right? I have spoken with Peter. Now, in the do, now you would say, du hast. You have spoken. Du hast gesprochen. Du hast gesprochen. You have spoken. All right? You have spoken. Now, under RZS, now in RZS, I would say hat gesprochen. RZS hat gesprochen. So he, she, it has spoken. And then in the Z form, now under Z you would say Sie haben gesprochen. You have spoken. Now you are noticing that all through and through, the gesprochen remains the same. Gesprochen, 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 right? But now you are seeing the thing changing is the habe, hast. Ich habe gesprochen. Du hast gesprochen. Es hat gesprochen. Sie haben gesprochen. You have spoke. Right? Same thing in the plural side. So in plural now you would have wir haben gesprochen. Right? We have spoke. Wir haben gesprochen. And then habt gesprochen. Ihr habt gesprochen. You have spoke. And then the plural, they have spoke. Sie haben gesprochen. They have spoke. And then lastly, the sie remains the same. Sie haben gesprochen. Okay, so you now see how I conjugate it in the perfect have or has spoken. Ich habe gesprochen, I have spoken. Du hast gesprochen. Sie, es hat gesprochen. Sie haben gesprochen, plural. Wir haben gesprochen, we have spoke. Ihr habt gesprochen, and then Sie haben gesprochen, Sie haben gesprochen. All right, so you've now seen from present, this is present tense, to speak, yeah? And then you've also seen it in the past, right? Sprach, etc., etc., right? And then you have also seen it in the perfect, okay? So what I want us to do is, let's now see some few examples. There's this sentence I would like to give us to see how we would translate. Now, how would I say, we are speaking. We are speaking. Let's use English. We are speaking English. That is our first one. And then the second one is, now I want to say, we spoke. We spoke English. Okay. We spoke English. And then the other one is, we have spoken English. We have spoken English. Let's go ahead and attempt these three. So look at this. So the first one, we are speaking English, right? And then we spoke English. Then the last one, we have spoken English. So how would you proceed to attempt this? Now let's go ahead. This person would use as an example, right? So we are speaking English. This is present tense, right? If you check on our list of conjugation, you saw how we conjugated it in present, right? So we are speaking English. Feel free to also attempt in the comments. Feel free to attempt. We are speaking English. Now this one you proceed to say, wer, all right, wer sprechen, okay, we are speaking English. Wer sprechen English. Look at this. Wir sprechen English. We are speaking English. But the second one, we spoke English. We spoke English. Now I would say wir sprachen. So this is now the past. Notice the vowel changing. Wir sprachen English. Wir sprachen English. We spoke English. Then the last one, we have spoken English. We have spoken English. Now you would say, wir haben. Now the word order will be different like in English. Yeah? Wir haben English. Wir haben English gesprochen. Wir haben English gesprochen. Look at that. Wir haben English gesprochen. We have spoken English. Okay? So that is how the verb sprechen changes in the present, in the past, and also in the perfect. Now, what I'd like us to do as we conclude, now I would like to give some sentences which I'd like you to go ahead and translate, and afterwards you'll feel free to share with us in the comment section. Yeah? So look at these sentences. I would give us some English sentences, and then still using the Sprechen and the Sprachen. All right. Now, the first one that I have, let's call it translate. Translate. All right. Now, they've given you the following. Number one, how would you say that this is my mother tongue? This is my mother tongue. All right. This is my mother tongue. Number two, we want to say, I speak many languages. I speak many languages. All right. Then number three, you want to say that this is a foreign language. This is a foreign language. This is a foreign language. Number four, I'm going to give us five. Number four, how would you say that he is a native speaker? He is a native speaker. He is a native speaker. Then the last one, you want to say, now you want to ask somebody a question. How many languages? How many languages? How many languages do you speak? How many languages do you speak? Look at that. How many languages do you speak? All right. So, guys and girls, I'd like you to go ahead. This would be your house of Gabe. For those of you who didn't get the first part, I'm going to post this video. I'd like you to just watch slowly, and then afterwards attempt this. Once you're done trying this, go ahead and share in the comment section, and then we'll be able to mark and give out the correct answers. Okay. So, with that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of today's live. I believe you are now capable to use Sprachen and Sprechen appropriately. Okay? So this was Teacher Fred speaking to us. Let me say, das ist alles für heute. Tschüss, and I'll be seeing you in the next live.